Going live. Okay. So, hello. I'm just going to get straight into it. So, the three cultures that I identify myself with would be the African American culture, female culture, women, woo, and then a religious culture or background. So, going first to the African American culture, I feel as though there are some behaviors that overall we may like consider abnormal, and not overtly abnormal, just mainly strange or raised heads or just occurring rarely and things like that in the culture. And one is really not having a stern hand or disciplining your kids. I feel like every time someone says something about you don't beat your kids or you don't whip them or something like that, it's a problem, especially in society today, as cultures and norms of parental practices change. But at least for our culture, excuse me, I'm a little sick. That's something that we see as like, that's the problem, why your kids acting like that, which could totally not be true. And then another one is not having a place where you can have traditional events at, or not being more of a close-knit family. I feel like our culture really idolizes the family time and the big mama effect, where you have someone as the core and the rock or foundation as your family that is going to have the Sunday dinners or the Saturday dinners, or someone's house that you can always go to, and just having a really close-knit family. Another aspect I see, or would say that is really abnormal for the culture I identify with, is not really relating to any type of music. I feel like music is a huge factor in our culture, where we, whether it be jazz, rap, blues, rock, you name it, something's in our earbuds, something we're listening to, gospel, contemporary, anything really. Like, I feel like music is really what drives the soul that we have, and the unique ability to stay on rhythm, which also is just, could be a stereotype. Two more for this one, for the African American culture. It would be very abnormal if someone, like the behavior wise, if someone wasn't, chiming in on jokes. If you're not joking with someone, if you don't have a joking demeanor, if you're very like, this isn't funny, I don't know why you thought this was funny, and you sort of can't take a joke, I feel like that's something that our culture would be like, what's your problem? Like, you don't find that funny? Like, different aspects like that. Humor is a big piece or identifying factor, I feel like, in the African American community. Someone's always joning on somebody. And the last one for this one is, even though it's sort of sad, I feel like nowadays in the African American culture, even though it really shouldn't be like this, more people are living together rather than making a commitment to get married. And it's something that's really just accepted. I would say across cultures too, definitely not specifically to the African American culture, but it's more of, something that is just deemed okay, not really questioned. You can't really question somebody's choices, but it would be not, I wouldn't say abnormal, but it is technically rare. When you look at the culture of seeing how many people are married with children versus how many are single mothers and single fathers and things of that nature. Oh man, this is a long video, sorry. The second culture I identify myself with, like I was saying, was female, and just a couple for that one would be, it'd be very abnormal for a female to just not have manners, pass gas, burp in front of her friends. I mean, you may have close friends, but it's more ladylike to keep those things to yourselves, and just hock a loogie and spit or do dip or something in front of everybody. the gender roles or society sees women to be, you don't do those type of nasty things. So when you see another woman do that, you're like, what? Like, it's just a rare occasion. Also, if a woman decides or says, I don't want no kids, like that could be a rare occasion or behavior, just because women are seen as nurturing and individuals that can only produce children. So it'd be abnormal for them to say, I really don't want no kid, unless it's really hard and impossible for you to have a kid. Which is also seen like, well, what's wrong with you? Which is totally not acceptable, because there are issues with women not being able to be reproductive. Another one would be women who are too seductive and not committing, or like, I mean, it's not really rare, but we're like, not going to get into that. But I mean, it's personal opinion to everybody. It's just something that is abnormal behavior, to each his own. And the last one for the female would be just not having an interest in the gender roles that women are so called supposed to take in, like being attracted to clothes and shoes and makeup and those of that nature, which everybody does what they want to do, but it's, as far as a whole, most women really like to take care of their hair, even if they're more tomboyish, taking care of their hair, color their hair or something. It just is seen as, well, why don't you do anything with yourself? Why aren't you taking care of yourself? And it could just be the society's views on women and how they should behave that really affect the abnormalities of seeing women and the behaviors that they do. And then lastly, religion for me. So some things that could be abnormal for someone who attends church or just partakes in having a higher power that they seek into, and just relating their life to faith and love and humbleness, is not attending church, and you sort of like not praying. Like, if someone calls you over and says, hey, can you have grace, and you don't know how to pray. Everybody starts somewhere, but not, for someone who says that you're in you're in whatever denomination that you are, and you don't know how to pray, that could be seen as abnormal. Or you don't attend church, that could be seen as abnormal for some people who are really diehard, go to church every week. I don't know what you're doing, or maybe not knowing some of the stories of your denomination's book. There's plenty of them. Preferably mine would be the Bible. Not identifying yourself with songs and things of that nature. But on other characteristics, like personal characteristics, not being humble, not being trustworthy, not being someone that can lend an ear and hear. I feel like those are all abnormal, because at least a part of the religious, I don't know what to really call it, religious. I don't really like that word. But the community that I associate myself with, like my denomination, Seventh-day Adventist, you want people who are elders saying yes ma'am, no ma'am. That's pretty much been driven in children's head. Can't even call my grandfather and my grandmother if I'm saying bye, you guys. My grandmother would be like, you guys, I'm not your guys. I'm like, okay, bye, grandma and grandfather. Man, that's just something. And also just being overly sexual active. That's in every religious denomination. No sex before marriage. Do not be promiscuous. Be modest in the clothes that you wear. Just those different type of characteristics. If you're doing those, you are abnormal, and you're going to be talked to quite a bit. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope it made sense. I hope that you got something out of the different cultures to identify myself with. And thank you for listening for this 10-minute long video. Bye, guys.